budget bikes are my thing, and when I come across really good deals like these MendhamBikes.com bikes, the Able Bike Company Core, its slightly more grown-up variant, the Able Sport, with hydraulic disc brakes and a slightly better rear group set, Microshift Advent 9-speed, stuff that I've used for years. Nice to see it on budget bikes, and the pricing on these just crazy good. I have full reviews on these, including discount codes and all that. I'll put links down in the description, but there's another bike from Mendham Bikes, from Univega, a storied brand. The Univega Rover RM29, another mountain bike. Another video review that I'll link down in the description. On top of being assembled in the United States, this Rover RM29 had something else special about it, and something unique. Very unique, being that it was a slight mistake by SR Sun Tour, and that's with this fork, the XCM32, that is labeled Boost, but is in reality a through axle, a 15 by 100 through axle. Well, great, I've already talked about all this in videos, right? Everything about these bikes. Why am I making another video here? First, I'm about to donate these, so I need to get everything filmed that I can. Second, I'm still having a lot of questions about this fork. Even though I made a video explaining it, it's improperly labeled by SR Sun Tour as a Boost, but it is a 15 by 100 through axle, which I've shown you. Questions are, how could this happen? Well, I don't know. I don't know the sticker quality control at a factory, but things happen. You know, sometimes maybe in the machine that applies stickers, somebody just put in the wrong batch, or maybe the hand that applies them just grabbed the wrong sticker. Things happen. It's kind of a one-off, and I say kind of because I'm pretty sure that I've ran into an XCM32 Boost before that also had a 15 by 100 through axle. Things happen, so I'm not really that caught up in that. At the very least, you can ride around on the trail with what looks like a Boost fork, but it's really not, even though through axle is perfectly fine. But there are more questions. Is through axle necessary? Well, look, the standard quick release, like this Able Core has, if I can get over here, there's the lever for the quick release. The standard quick release is just fine. It's been in use for decades. They're not all of a sudden gonna quit working. So the Able Core and the Able Sport, if these are the bikes that you want, that's not really a super big deal. Now, a through axle is better. It's definitely more modern, but these do have a straight steerer, so no tapered forks. So I don't really see either as a compelling reason to get one or the other. To me, it's just whichever you like the look of. If you like this Rover or the branding, maybe even the branding sometimes can matter. I have brands that I like that are storied brands, at least to me, from my childhood. So whatever brand, whatever look, because overall they're fairly similar. Now, I can say here, the Core versus the Sport. I have been asked, why not just buy the Core and then you can upgrade later? Well, my opinion differs based on how much money I would have at the time. If I only have $252, then that's going to be a perfectly fine bike. If, however, I can splurge an extra $30, I can get the same bike basically with a little bit of gloss on the paint instead of the flat, which I like both, but this just really stands out to me for some reason. But more importantly, it comes already with hydraulic disc brakes and a clutched derailleur, a good one. The Microshift Advent 9-speed, stuff that I have put on bikes in the past, I know is a good product. Not just cheap making it happen products, actual good products that I use. I actively seek out and buy. And that makes this a better buy to me, given that it's the same frame, same sizing, and the other components are going to be the same. Get a couple of extra upgrade perks for the $30, but if I didn't have the $30 and I needed a bike, I always say buy the best you can afford to buy at that time. But the reality of cycling is if you don't get into cycling when you're thinking about it, when you want to do it, the odds are if you wait, say, oh, I'm going to save for 6 months or a year, you're probably not going to get into cycling. something else will come up. And in regards to the Univega versus the Able Bike Company products, I have no problems with this. I really do like the color of this frame. I like the assembled in the USA. That badging down there is just so good to me. The reason I would steer towards the Able Sport versus this has hydraulic disc brakes like the Sport. That is awesome. This has the through axle fork. Again, just talked about labeled boost, but actually through axle. So a little bit better there. But get back here, and I would prefer that Sport over this drivetrain, if not for anything. Well, this doesn't have a clutch, but also the gearing range. I like easy climbing. And this setup with this micro shift Advent 9-speed with a clutch makes it worth it to me. But if that doesn't matter to you, this is a great bike. And to some people, maybe this matters more. To get a through axle up here and arguably maybe slightly better hubs, although I think they're on par with one another. Any of these is a good bike, and any of them are crazy good deals. And I will say, this does cost just a few dollars less than the Sport. But that drivetrain's worth it to me. It's up to you, to each their own. The brakes on this one both worked out of the box, where that one needs one bled, actually needs both bled, and I think a little oil. And this one, look at that. So there's some questions answered. Also, I have a unique opportunity here. XCM 32 boost, we've talked about multiple times already, actually a through axle. If this were an actual boost Suntour fork, this would be 15 by 110. Well, guess what? I actually have a boost Suntour fork. Now, this is an XCM 34 rather than the 32. The difference is the size of the stanchions. You can see there's 2 extra millimeters in those stanchions. But we saw with this that it was a 15 by 100. Let's look on this 34 boost fork, which is actual boost, because if we look down here, look at that. 15 by 110. 10 millimeters wider there. Also note, this is a tapered fork. You see that taper? This is the straight steer going down. This one all the way through is straight. This one is straight where your stem is, where it goes through the head tube, but at the bottom of the head tube, it flares out. Do you see that? A tapered head tube would flare out to accommodate that. These are all, or at least these 3 bikes here, are all a straight steer. This is a tapered fork. A true boost fork, 15 by 110. Let's put them side by side here and just look at that width. And you can see what I was talking about when I said the boost badging would at least give you the cool factor, because nobody is going to be able to look at that and go, wait a minute. You're losing 10 millimeters there. That's a fake boost. Nope, it's just misbadged. But nobody's going to know, so I guess a net positive if style points are your thing. And one last thing that is a major topic that I'm seeing conversations about is the number of people that have received these bikes and things weren't adjusted properly. Well, as I've said before, these are meant to be bike shop bikes. Bike shops are going to go over them with actual bike mechanics, do proper assembly and adjustment. So it's no surprise to me that there are some things on these that need tweaked out of the box, especially when you get down to drivetrains, tweaking the derailleur adjustment and so on. But the brakes, it seems like I'm seeing quite a few people that have this same thing. The brakes need to be bled. Something needs serviced in some way. And I believe that's because these have probably been sitting in boxes for a while. One of these, I think it's this Univega, had a sticker down there that showed the manufacture date, and it was 2021, January of 2021. And I think I saw the same thing somewhere on one of these Able Bike Company bikes, both from 2021. Anytime a bike has been sitting up, especially with hydraulic disc brakes, and especially, you never know how they're going to have been sitting, sometimes upside down, that can do a number on brakes and so on. I mean, I have brakes where bikes have been sitting, well, these I must have pumped. But Zoom brakes, if those sit on me long, I'll have to pump them to get the braking back, but then they're good. These, I think, have just been sitting too long, so don't be surprised if there is some adjustment needed. I like to be transparent with everybody about my experiences. I've shared that, and now I'm sharing the experiences from many viewers, but that is why that $75 bike assembly rebate. You can take it to a bike shop and they'll rebate $75 to have proper assembly and proper adjustment done, added value onto what was already a crazy good value. Even adjustments might be needed. Outstanding. Good products, good components for the money. I mean, when did we see components like this at dollars this cheap? We haven't. I'm impressed. But that's okay. That's good. It's still good stuff. A Univega. Univega USA. How cool is that to see that brand back? Hey, if you're watching Kent Bikes, how about we collaborate and you let me design a bike that's assembled here in the US that has the Univega branding, but a kev-central edition. I think it would be fun. Comment below if you think so too. We could make something super awesome, even as awesome as these, considering the deal that these are. So there you go. If you have any other questions, you better ask now, because these will soon be donated, going to a local nonprofit. And beyond that, I won't have any, well, local riders. Sometimes I see the bikes that get donated. So hopefully I can follow up on these at a later date with their new owners. But for now, that's the 3 that I've covered, and additional questions, because they keep coming in every day. These are popular on the internet right now. Good stuff. I'm glad to have been able to take a look at them and answer, the big questions. Let me know if you have any more. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.